Hey guys, this is Dan with Pain for You. Today's topic, Emotions Anonymous. And it's kind of just a little strategy that I will give to you, because a lot of people I talk to on the phone or on Skype calls or coaching, they really have a hard time connecting with emotions, right? They may have had a lifetime of repressing them and just knowing that emotions are unsafe. And so they'll try to do the work. They'll get out a pad of paper and they just come up blank. And sometimes they'll try to do the I'm feeling technique that I talk about a lot. Just sit with your feelings. Like right now, what am I feeling? That came from Adam Heller, but I teach that as well. Similar process. So sometimes people say, what am I feeling right now? I don't know. I'm numb. I don't have anything. What am I feeling now? They'll ask and answer 10 times and not come up with anything. So sometimes it's useful. And I know I say stay out of story mode. I don't like watching all the old movies of everything that ever went wrong in our life, and then watching the movies in our head of everything we fear will happen bad in our future, right? That's story mode. But what I'm encouraging you to do is, if you're kind of getting stuck on the emotional work side of this equation, Emotions Anonymous is kind of one of my little, I don't know if it's an analogy, a model, or a metaphor, whatever. Imagine you are sitting in a room and all around you are sitting in chairs, and at each chair is sitting a different emotion. You know, the big ones like anger, rage, sadness, guilt, shame, fear, hurt. Right? These are the big ones. Maybe jealousy or envy. And just imagine yourself sitting on a chair in the middle of the room, and all around you, you've got all of the big emotions sitting around you. And just like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting where everybody goes, "Hi, my name is Dan, and I'm an alcoholic," you can kind of visualize yourself sitting there, and every emotion needs to talk, or has the opportunity to talk. And you can literally visualize yourself sitting there and saying, "Okay, anger, your turn to talk." And then visualize anger saying, "Hi, my name is Anger, and I'm showing up in Dan's life in this way, that way, that way, that way." And it's just an interesting way to kind of get out of the blank page effect or the blank head effect. And, if I were to say to you, where is anger showing up in your life? You're going to be like, everywhere. Right? People at work, people at the grocery store, the checkout line, whatever. Everywhere anger shows up. And it's really easy to get angry at the little unimportant things, right? We can rage in traffic. We can get really pissed off at the grocery store clerk, or the lady who cut us off in front of at the grocery store line. But when it comes to significant relationships in our life, our spouse, our parents, our kids, I shouldn't feel that way, right? I shouldn't feel that way because they're family, or they're my husband or my wife or my kids or my mom, and I shouldn't feel that way. So then we got that whole guilt thing going where we feel guilty if we feel a certain emotion. We feel like we're out of control, we're damaged. What's wrong with me? I shouldn't be mad at my kids. Of course you could, or should. Kids can be infuriating. Even the grown-up ones, right? So look, it doesn't make you a bad person to feel emotions. So what I'm encouraging you to do is take this suggested strategy to get some emotions and get to them and feel them. And just imagine, again, going around the room and saying, "Okay, anger, where are you showing up? What do you want me to feel?" And just feel it. You don't have to get into the whole story mode. Anger doesn't have to say, "Well, I went to the grocery store today, and boy, there was a whole line of traffic going to the second traffic light, and story. No, your brain already knows that crap. All you got to do is jump to, "Yeah, grocery store. Wow, I was pissed off." Don't get stuck in the story. Don't ruminate on the story and dwell on it and repeat it over and over again. Story mode doesn't help us. But if you need a little prompt, all right, sadness, where are you showing up? Still haven't gotten over my dad dying, right? Still unresolved feelings there. I need to feel that. Had to put a dog down several years ago. And this was a dog that was a pain in my ass. It was getting older, would bark at night, in the middle of the night, open the door, it wouldn't go out. I'd finally let her out, shoo her out the door. I'd go back in up to bed and she'd bark to come in. It like drove me nuts. But when she had to be put down, she had lots of cancer, lymphoma, destroyed me. And this was a dog I complained about for easily the last 2 years of her life. So sadness, these things are deep. So sadness, where are you showing up? All right. Shame, your turn to talk. Guilt, your turn to talk. And don't avoid shame and guilt, because these are the emotions that are really easy to repress, because none of us wants to feel like we're doing something wrong that we shouldn't be doing, that we got caught doing. I'm ashamed of the way I might have yelled at my kids or did whatever. Right? So go around the room. Fear. Where's fear showing up in my life? They don't necessarily mean just about the pain or the symptoms that you're experiencing, but just in general, like, where is fear showing up in my life? All right, come on in, fear. If it helps you. Some people like the inner child metaphor, right? All right, come here, anger. Come here, sadness. Give me a hug. Let's hold. Let's feel it. You ever get a hug from somebody that just felt good? I don't mean in a sexual way or a romantic way. I just mean like, oh my God, some people know how to hug. And you hold them, you got that chest to chest, and it just feels so comforting. So do that for yourself. Give these emotions a hug. After they're done talking, after they're done saying, hey, here's where sadness is showing up in my life. Imagine yourself. Give yourself a hug. Right? Acknowledge the feelings. Feel the feelings. Give yourself permission. And just know this, I've said it before, I think, but most emotions, when felt really intensely at their depth, at their true depth, tend to dissipate and start to fade at around 90 seconds, which is pretty cool. So if you can tolerate deep, deep, heart-wrenching sadness, or guttural, I want to smack somebody anger, or rage even, just allow yourself permission. Sit with it for as long as it takes for that feeling to start to dissipate. But what you'll probably realize and see is it doesn't take that long when you truly allow yourself to feel it. And that's what it's meant to resolve an emotion. It means to feel it and hold it and allow it there. Don't cling to it. Don't trap it, but just hold it and feel it as long as it takes, and then allow it to dissipate. And just know, the anonymous part of this analogy here is really key. Emotions are anonymous. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous. The rule of that meeting is we don't talk about the rest of the people in the meeting. You might know somebody that you know in that meeting. Doesn't leave that room, right? So think about this Emotions Anonymous room in this meeting where everybody gets to talk. All these emotions get a voice. For once in your life, they get a voice. This is a great way to give yourself permission. But it's anonymous. It's anonymous, meaning nobody else in your life has to know about this shit. And if anger and rage show up and you've got emotions that just make you feel like you're out of control and dangerous and I might hurt somebody, it's okay. It's anonymous. Nobody but you has to know about these emotions. So, this is just a technique or a practice that you can employ. I really like the what emotion am I feeling right now? The Adam Heller Zero Pain Now thing. Some people like them, some people don't like them, but the process is actually very good because it keeps you out of story mode and it really just gets you centered on the feelings. If you don't like that process and you're struggling with journaling and you get that blank page syndrome, like I don't know what to write about, try this, the Emotions Anonymous, and see whether or not this type of process can help you kind of uncork the bottle a little bit and let some of these emotions flow. So let me know what you think about this. Was this helpful? Did it give you almost a fun little way of making this process a little more interesting instead of staring at a blank page or saying, what emotion am I feeling? I got nothing, right? So if you prompt yourself briefly, anger, where are you showing up? Your turn to talk. And again, don't dwell on the stories, but just allow anger to be felt. Let's sit with anger. Okay, everybody in the room, let's sit with anger. And one thing I like to say is that, some people really struggle with sadness, but they're really good at getting angry. And that is because often anger shows up as the bodyguard to sadness. So when you really get sad and somebody hurt your feelings and you're really like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that, who shows up? Anger. I got this. They come charging in. I got this. Stand back. Hey, you hurt me, son of a bitch, right? Anger shows up for a lot of us very easily. But the sadness, no, I'm weak if I feel sadness, right? Don't want to let them see you cry. So let me know what you think of this strategy or this practice of doing the Emotions Anonymous. And again, anonymous is key. It's just for you, for your own head, for your own heart, for your own health, for your own well-being. Give yourself permission. Call one of these meetings every morning, every evening, whenever you want to do it. And sit around and let each one of these emotions have a voice. Because honestly, sometimes if you do the what am I feeling, anger, if that's the most prevalent one, that's all you get. Anger, 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 anger. And, yeah, that's great to get that and to feel that and to get that out. But if you never go around the room and say, well, what about shame? Where are you showing up? What about guilt or jealousy or envy or hurt? Who's hurt me, right? Who's pissed me off? Who's gotten me in a rage? Or what has gotten me in a rage, right? Sometimes by prompting around the big emotions, you'll make sure you're not really just focusing on one big thing and one big story in your head that's really most prevalent. So hopefully you found this useful. Try it. Try it for a few days, a week, a month. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you found it helpful and if it helped open the doors to that subconscious a little bit wider and allowed these feelings to flow a little bit easier. So, love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. If you think somebody you know can use this, please share it. If you think somebody might enjoy being a part of this Pain For You private group in this community of ours, invite them to join. And we'll talk to you guys really soon.